One courtroom. One name drop. And everything Jim Jones and Chrissy built came crashing down. This isn't gossip, it's the end of a legacy. What transpired in that courtroom completely turned everything upside down. 1 minute, Camron was on the stand, and the next, he was dissecting everything we believed to be true about Jim Jones and Chrissy Lemon. Believe me, this wasn't just tea, it was pure gasoline on a fire that was already raging. The street legend. Jim Jones has now dug himself into a position, and Chrissy is more than just collateral damage. Her name is already appearing in court filings like a warning. Camron didn't come to play. Instead, he brought receipts, and what he said could be the last straw for Jim's career and everything he and Chrissy built together in the spotlight. If you think you've seen hip-hop drama, you weren't right. Whatever Camron said was not small. It was nuclear, the kind of truth that can't be buried, the kind of truth that ends legacies. Beyond cheating scandals, reality show clashes, or rap feuds, there was a time when Jim and Cam were untouchable. Dipset legends side by side, and somewhere in that silence, the truth crept out. This is very personal, and it has been simmering beneath the surface for years until Camron let it all out in front of the judge. The courtroom was silent, but the tension was evident in the cold stares between the two men who used to call each other family. When Camron dropped the name Chrissy, everything changed. This wasn't about a messy relationship, instead, it was about secrets, allegiances, and possibly crimes. Chrissy isn't just a footnote in Jim's story anymore. After this, she might be the headline behind closed doors. But then there were the cracks, then the silence, and somewhere in the shadows, her name kept circling. What was her role? Was she innocent, or was she the glue holding a darker game together? Camron Jim Jones has never exactly worn a halo. His entire rise in the game was carved out of chaos, controversy, grit, and that raw street energy that he built a name by bending rules. He didn't just speak, he detonated the truth he unleashed, and it wasn't just shocking, it was devastating. The accusations are darker, deeper, and far more dangerous than anyone ever dared to whisper. But before we dive into the firestorm, let's rewind the tape and take a look at the storm that has been simmering for years. Not following them, and Chrissy was always by his side from the streets to the screen, particularly on Love and Hip Hop, where her ride-or-die persona became her entire brand. But here's the twist: what if the commitment we witnessed on screen wasn't so pure? What if the real Chrissy was playing a role the cameras couldn't capture in the AOY shadows? That's precisely the question Camron came to answer, and believe me, his response wasn't flattering. After years of silence, Camron chose this. According to insiders, he took a time to reveal everything and didn't hold back when he spoke. Certainly anonymous, but reliable, Camron entered the courtroom determined to reveal everything, and then he delivered the first blow that no one had anticipated. Camron asserted that he had direct access to the private texts that Jim and Chrissy exchanged. He discovered emails and chats that were never intended to be viewed. It's the stuff that can't be seen. Chrissy wasn't merely a passenger, she was supposedly neck-deep in it. Everybody were talking about money trails that lead to dark places. And Camron depicted her as an active participant in actions that, if true, could totally destroy the image they've so carefully constructed. Mysterious encounters, untraceable transactions, charges of money laundering involving off-the-grid individuals, essentially a criminal blueprint. The true shocker is not simply what they did, but also how they concealed it. Camron opened a vault of information in addition to blowing the whistle. We're talking about underground money flows, covert alliances, betrayal, and so many layers that it would make your head spin. You see, Jim Jones had always been an expert at cover-up. He played the game well, kept clean in public, and kept the dirt hidden away where no one could reach it. But now, Camron claims to have the receipts, and what he revealed in that courtroom was enough to destroy even the most devoted fans' perception of him and Chrissy. According to Camron, the woman we saw smiling next to Jim on camera may have been the mastermind behind the most vicious actions, but he didn't stop there. He tore away the image that Chrissy and Jim had spent years meticulously creating so that the public saw them as an unbreakable power couple who were genuine and solid, but behind the scenes, there is deceit. Here's where it gets scary. Because as Camron laid everything out, the courtroom was on edge. Was Chrissy the puppet master, or was Jim running the show the entire time, letting her play the role while he pulled the real strings? Camron made one thing very clear about their relationship: she wasn't the faithful girlfriend, but rather a master manipulator and strategist working in the shadows. With each new revelation, the facade continued to fall apart. Wasn't based on love, but rather on survival and strategy, and as the fallout started, everyone watched to see if Jim would fight back, if Chrissy would keep quiet, or if he would strike. The questions that followed won't be easy to process because, although Camron may have opened the floodgates, he isn't the only one who knows the truth. What Camron revealed in that courtroom goes far beyond your average celebrity drama. It's a full-blown scandal that's rewriting the story of both Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones. When Camron stepped in, the atmosphere was tense. This wasn't just two old friends making amends, rather, it was a planned revelation of years of deceit, manipulation, and illegal activity that could destroy their entire business. Jim Jones isn't just a rapper connected to Dipset, he was also in charge of a clandestine operation that operated across several states. Camron revealed that Jim and Chrissy were heavily involved in shell money laundering companies and phony companies to hide millions of dollars, and Chrissy was not just the helpful girlfriend. She was allegedly the mastermind behind the scenes, arranging everything with cold precision. They allegedly funneled money through luxury goods and real estate, and they covered their tracks like experts. What's even more shocking is that they continued to do this for years until Camron dropped the receipts, but it didn't stop them from having covert meetings with dangerous people associated with organized crime. Indeed, for years, Jim and Chrissy played the part of the power couple, smiling for the cameras and preaching loyalty, but Camron's evidence is shattering that facade. Chrissy was allegedly right there, negotiating deals and forming unethical relationships. Leaked documents reveal a complex network of years-long tax evasion, offshore accounts, and wire transactions. The reality is rapidly coming to light and is more sinister than did anyone anticipate. According to the reports, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin used offshore accounts and phony businesses to launder millions of dollars while concealing not only from the government but also from their own crew. They kept even close allies in the dark out of fear of any leaks, and sources within their inner circle exposed a vicious side where threats and intimidation were their go-to strategies to silence anyone who came too close to the truth. People who had received warnings from Jim Jones and his close group were named by Camron. It is now evident that their dominion was founded on secrets and fear manipulation rather than just skill or hard work. The image of Jim Jones as the successful rapper and his devoted girlfriend was shattered overnight by Camron's explosive courtroom revelations, looking more like a fragile facade. Social media exploded instantly, exposing Jim Jones and trending globally. Industry insiders weren't the only fans who voiced their opinions. Rappers and producers began to take sides. Some disputed Jim and Chrissy's accusations that Camron was vindictive and spiteful, but many who were aware of the darker side of hip-hop were quick to accept the claims. When the evidence surfaced online, there was no turning back. Chrissy Lampkin responded with a statement that sent shockwaves across the media, strongly disputing the charges and accusing Camron of attempting to destroy Jim Jones. And Chrissy Lampkin are facing numerous lawsuits with rumors of money laundering, conspiracy, and even racketeering charges swirling. Federal agents are reportedly delving deeply into their finances, and the pressure is mounting. However, her response felt cold, defensive, and far from the warm, loyal image she'd long portrayed, guilty or not. Her tone raised more questions than answers. Crushing cracks are already visible, and if the feds crack down hard, the consequences may be disastrous, including jail time, hefty fines, and total public shame. Rumors have been sparked by Jim Jones' public appearances of separating from Chrissy. As inquiries intensify, it is evident that the harm to their reputations is irreparable. The following chapter will involve the repercussions: court fights. Their partnership may be breaking up. Will they weather this storm together, or is this the beginning of the end for them? Media conflagrations. Legal experts warned that the money laundering charges alone could result in decades behind bars. This isn't a brush-it-off scandal. The more the feds delve into the underworld connections, the darker this story becomes, and the couple is now questioning everything they believed in. Additionally, the collapse of everything they've built as a result of Camron's bombshell continues to shake the streets, the media, and their very lives. This is a serious challenge of credibility, not just a piece of gossip. Every endeavor, endorsement, and prospective possibility now hangs in a limbo as the public becomes aloof and authorities probe their money. Legal disputes and a damaged reputation are two sides of a double-edged blade that Jim Jones and Chrissy Lemon must deal with. The crisis is gaining momentum, and it appears that there is no way out of the consequences. Time is running out, and the limelight is unforgiving, and what once seemed to be a flawless empire founded on celebrity is now in ruins. Loyalty is eroding, and the reality that Camron revealed is dragging them into a perilous downward spiral. There is a genuine chance that their empire may collapse, as banks are withdrawing, agreements are being cancelled, and investors are losing interest. The strain isn't just external, it's striking them where it hurts most. Their opulent lifestyle, which was once a sign of success, may soon be a thing of the past as they deal with financial instability and legal disputes. Resources and possible forfeitures. This controversy is a full-scale collapse that is simply waiting to happen, not just a headline. If the federal inquiry results in convictions, bankruptcy is now a genuine possibility rather than simply a rumor. We're not talking about little fines. If Jim Jones and Chrissy Lemon lose the trial, they may have to sell off all of their houses and enterprises and face millions in fines, asset seizures, and destroyed commercial endeavors. Luxurious vehicles, their Hollywood ideal, which they once flaunted in the spotlight, has collapsed into a nightmare that might destroy everything they have worked so hard to achieve, but the media storm is already brewing. As the legal drama unfolds, some outlets have dubbed Camron's courtroom statements the scandal of the decade, while others are referring to it as the final blow to Jim and Chrissy's rule. It's a public trial by fire, and there's no avoiding the spotlight. What comes next? Can Jim Jones and Chrissy Lemon pull themselves back from this abyss, or is this the last tragic chapter in their ascent? The cameras won't stop rolling, and every move they make, every slip, and every new detail will be brutally examined. The game is irrevocably changed by Camron's stunning testimony, and the likelihood that they will escape uninjured is rapidly decreasing, despite their best efforts. Is some leniency in the court of public opinion, but even that seems excessive at the moment. This isn't just a scandal, it's a cultural revolution. It's the kind of story that makes fans doubt everything, compels celebrities to reconsider their decisions, and leaves the media desperate to change the rules governing how these stories are reported. The fallout has only just started, and I assure you that you won't want to miss what comes next. Chrissy Lemon and Jim Jones have been completely revealed, and the legal battles, public outrage, and financial ruin are just beginning, but the most important question is still how deep this scandal really goes, what other secrets are still being kept under wraps, and which other celebrities might become entangled in this mess. I want to hear from you immediately because this story is far from over and we'll be here at every turn to break down the drama as it happens. Do you believe Jim Jones and Chrissy Lemon will end up together, or will they find a way to get away with it? Please share your opinions in the comments section below, and don't forget to click the bell, like, and subscribe so you don't miss the next exclusive expose. We're delving deeply into scandals that aren't available elsewhere. Keep checking back.